Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Your Soul Wisdom. We are joined today by Pamela Downes, a trance channeler, spiritual guide, and founder of Spirit Calling, a community dedicated to supporting individuals on their spiritual awakening journey. Through her session work, Pamela connects people with their spirit guides to provide clarity, direction, and purpose. Spirit Calling offers classes, events, resources, and community calls that are guided by the wisdom of the Great Council of Light. As host of the Live the Call podcast and Divine Wisdom TV show, Pamela shares profound insights from the Great Council of Light, empowering others to embrace their spiritual path with guidance and community. Welcome to our show, Pamela.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm
Welcome.
so excited to be here,
Hi,
everybody.
Pamela.
Hello.
Okay, now I have been following you for at least a couple years now. I saw you on another podcast a while ago,
Okay.
and here you're having this normal conversation, and then you're like, I started getting these messages, and all of a sudden you go into this channeling, and I was like, holy shit, like
What
for the
was
life
that?
of me, like that's not anything I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
And it's like pretty like intense and profound, and all this information comes through. And so
Yeah.
just to get us going, and you don't have to go through the whole story because I'm sure you've said it a million times, so it's up to
Yeah.
you. But
Yeah.
tell us how you got from hearing nothing, receiving no information, very 3D life. And
hmm
then all of a sudden you're channeling this energy that you refer to as the Great Council of Light.
hmm Very good question. And, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
It's a journey, right? We're all on this journey. You mentioned my spiritual community and me helping people understand their soul's purpose and help them align to their soul's purpose. That's hearing spirit call. That's the name of the platform. That's the name of my community. So it was that. It was me being able to create space to be able to hear my spirit calling, to be able to hear my higher wisdom, to be able to hear the guidance that I was receiving, to have the eyes and the perspective to be able to see the opportunities in front of me, the people in front of me, the new things that I was witnessing that either created a new version of what I was going to create for my reality or, took out some people that were in my current reality, some experiences, some ways of being, all the things. So to answer your question, yeah, I lived a very 3D life. If you would look, it's funny because I was just looking through pictures with my mom. She's turning 80 and we're having a birthday party for her next weekend. So we were going through all the decades,
Mm.
all the family photos. And through that, I'm seeing all the different versions of myself. And you guys know you're seeing yourself and your awakening journey on top of that. It's like all these layers of who you were, what you were experiencing, how you were experiencing things, big decisions that you made, big changes that you made.
Mm.
I started, I know now, and I mean, we are all on our journey, on our spiritual path of awakening and connecting to who we are and remembering who we are. That you said, Lauren, or was it Amanda? I can't remember, but I
Amanda.
love
Yeah.
that phrase. Yeah, I love that phrase because it is remember why you came here, remember who you are, and we are in the
Mm.
remembering journey of
Yeah.
that. And I was
Mm.
just listening to a podcast that came out today. And my story, I don't get tired of hearing my story because there's so many different versions of it that get said. It's true. And the one thing that I know about myself that I have found out now through the storytelling is that others connect with my
Yeah.
experience because that's what they're
Yes.
going through. They're
Yeah.
having the little shakedowns. They're having the knockdowns. They're having the eyes open and understanding they're not in alignment with their work, their relationships, their family, their ways of being. They're having new understandings. They've exited from religion. They've exited from a marriage. They've da 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 da. It's over and over and over and over again that I hear from people. Every platform, every in my inbox, in my email, like I heard your story. I feel so aligned with you. And that's my job. I didn't know it through those decades of my photos, through those decades of my life. I didn't know that that was what I was supposed to be doing on the planet, helping people remember who they were. So I started trying to find more about myself and my spiritual self. And it started with just not feeling connected to the religion that I knew that I was raised in. It started with that. I wasn't
Mm.
connected to it. I wasn't believing it. There were these complete contrasts of what I was being told to believe in and what I was seeing that didn't make sense. And so like the blanket was, the veil was starting to shred, like the it was starting to break down and it wasn't making sense anymore. And I finally got to a point where I was like, I have to exit completely. I can't present this to my children to believe in because I don't believe in it. And if this doesn't, and I know this about myself now, if something doesn't feel in alignment, I can't move forward. I can't make
Mm-hmm.
any decision. I can't do anything until I have more wisdom, more guidance about it. And so it started with the religion. And then I started hearing, I started seeing, I started knowing, I started having experiences, I started having alignments, I started meeting the right people. And I talk all about that game board, of life and all the players on that game board, kind of left and new ones came on and things started changing. And I just wanted to learn more. Like the more I wanted to learn, the more I was discovering, and then it would feed it. The more I wanted to experience, the more I wanted to learn, and then I was on my healing journey. And you didn't know that you're doing your healing journey. You think you're just on this discovery journey, and through, experiencing Reiki and through experiencing Akashic records and all the things. I started the healing journey, which was allowing me to raise my frequency, to raise my vibration, to receive more intuition, more guidance, more opportunities, more alignment, more of the universal energies conspiring to help me, and then me seeing it improve my life and me making higher and better choices. And like, it's reciprocal. Is that the right way to say that?
Mm-hmm.
What you're getting, it's coming back to you. It's coming back to you. And I really was sort of, if I look at my community members now and the people that I coach on their Soul Path coaching program, they're experiencing a rapid ascension. They are experiencing so much understanding in a very short amount of time. I was on a long journey. It was like, 10, 12 years. And maybe that's not long to some, but there was a lot of things I needed to break away from, things I needed to experience to create my new realizations, to continue to do more and more and more. And I, since I was a little kid, was very connected to Jesus. Always had this love for him. Like he was my friend. I can't explain it any other way. It's just I always felt like he was my friend, like he had my back. Um, and that to me, I didn't believe that he was stuck in religion. I can't explain it to you. It was like, I had
Mm-hmm.
these big ideas that just were there, but I didn't really fully understand them yet. And when I started learning about Reiki, I started like saying, well, that's what Jesus did. Jesus did Reiki. Jesus, laid hands on people and Jesus healed people. And I started understanding that was transferring energy. And I started understanding all of that. And I didn't really know that I was going to awaken all these gifts that I had, nor did I know that everyone has them. You know, we don't
Right.
understand that we are divine, beautiful, omnipotent beings that are connected to all that is. And we're taught that we're small. And so that remembering who we are process is like blowing the doors off of everything that we thought that we were taught. And when I exited my marriage, I was married for 16 and a half years. I was experiencing all the things I just told you about. And I was like, becoming like multicolor and colors that don't even exist. And he was still in black and white. And we just were not resonating. And I tried for many years, 3, 4 years, to make that work. But then I kept realizing there's love. Like, I know there's an opportunity for love there. And this isn't love. And I had this knowing that I couldn't hold myself back, that I needed to move forward, that there was more. It's a large concept, but all I could say was that I know there's more. I know there's
Yeah.
more. I think a lot of women go through that, probably
Yeah.
men too, but I think a lot of women, when you get to a point where you're just not accepting anything anymore, you need to move forward into that what is, what could be, And that's loving yourself. That's loving what the possibility and opportunities are on the other side of that decision. And I did that. And I didn't know my whole life was going to change. I didn't know that I was going to be in this space doing this. I thought I'd be doing marketing and communications, building a firm, which I have, with employees, which I have. I thought I'd be taking over the world in marketing and doing those sorts of things. Had no idea this was my path. This was my future. And now I'm exiting, I'm getting ready to exit that and to move just completely 100% into this space. And it's like, what's next? Because if I thought I knew what I was doing then, can you imagine like what I'm going to be drawing in now with this new conviction I'm putting out in the universe? And so after the, discovering Reiki, I went to a Reiki share, and my friend, we were doing yoga, and yoga was giving me the opportunity to focus on the breath and to allow the mind to ease and to be able to hear higher wisdom, higher guidance, my higher self. And I went to a Reiki share, and there were like 4 or 5 Reiki practitioners working on me at the same time in a yoga studio. It was like,
Wow.
$30 and you get your turn.
It's a great
And
$30.
I know, but I really had no idea what I was getting myself into, because I have my first chakra opening. They were all working on me, and then suddenly my heart started swelling up, and I felt all this emotion, and I went whoa, and like all of this energy came out of me. I released emotion, I released pain, I released all of this stuff, and I had moments like that. So moments like that made me want to continue to see what else there was, and I started studying Reiki. I don't know why I was called to. When I went to this Reiki retreat on the top of this quartz crystal mountain, um, I never wanted to be a Reiki practitioner, but what I was learning was about that I was an empath. I was learning about the chakras. I was learning about energy. I didn't know any of that. And the same thing happened at that retreat when I was getting attuned. At the end of the attunement, I had a past life come through, and my throat chakra just blow open, and I was having a hanging, and my throat I couldn't even move my neck. I was foaming at the mouth, and it was intense, and it was just like scary, but incredibly profound. And I knew, again, it was something I needed to discover more of. I needed to continue down the path, and it ultimately led me to do plant medicine. I saw a story about this man who did plant medicine and who created a retreat so that others could receive plant medicine in a sacred space with intention and safe. And he was a hotelier who healed himself of all kinds of addictions: sex, alcohol, drugs, gambling, like everything. And he did plant medicine, and he healed himself. He uncovered a traumatic experience with his grandfather where he was abused, and so that led to his addiction.
Mm.
And he healed himself, and he took all of his skills that he had in his life, and he created this retreat center to help other people receive the sacred plant medicine to heal themselves and to heighten their vibration. And when I saw the story of this man, I knew I was going there. It was like my clair senses were opening up. I was hearing, I was knowing, I was seeing, I just knew I was supposed to go. And when I went to that, I had an experience. I healed past life. I healed this life. I healed future lineage stuff with my daughter. I dealt with stuff with my father. It was incredible. And by the end of the week, we did a breathwork class, and we were eating vegan, and we were in the jungle, and it was like, such a high frequency experience that I was placed in. They had closed the place down, and I was invited to go with these 40 high conscious people. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I didn't need to figure it out. The universe figured it out for me, and I got invited. And at the end of this week, we did a breathwork class. So it's like almost like Kundalini yoga. It was like, heightening our frequency. And suddenly this white light came through and filled my whole body up, and my teeth were chattering, and the back of my skull was buzzing, and my body was experiencing source energy. And I heard, your psychic abilities have been enhanced. Everything from this moment forward will be different. And
Mm.
my whole entire life changed after that. That's when the channeling started in 2020. And I started having experiences with different beings in different dimensions and different frequencies, different vibrations, different, all kinds of things. And now I just went from here to here in a very short amount of time. But it really was, over the course of 10 years of doing this work and just really honoring it and not letting fear like hold me back. And there were fearful things I had to deal with, but I just knew that I couldn't, you know?
Well, you make a really interesting point where you're kind of following this path and you're like, I don't know why I'm doing it. I feel called to do it. In the moment,
Yeah.
you can't see the whole picture. But once you take a step back and you're 10 years later, you're like, I now see why I had to experience every single thing to
Yeah.
get to this moment. And that is a huge part of our story with us five and how we connected. I don't know why I signed up to do soul contract training. I've never done anything like that in my life, but I saw one podcast and I knew I had to do it. And that was the trickle effect to us five being here. And
Mm,
so when you're in the moment, you have no idea the impact you're actually having on your life. And
yeah.
then also everything that's breaking away, things that you thought you'd have forever, your marriage, friends, careers, whatever it is, they all just start to fall away. And sometimes you're like, good riddance. And sometimes it really hurts, but you
Hmm.
just can't appreciate it in the moment for what it is
Yeah.
until you get to
Mm.
that moment.
Until you get to the moment. And I also believe, you know, guides, the guides that I channel, which I haven't even spoken about, you've mentioned them. I channel messages every month. I channel messages for clients, for community members, for everyone. And one of the recent ones, I think last week, was talking about suffering, and how we are not supposed to have a perspective. Why did this happen to me? Why did rather turn that upside down and say, what have I learned from this? What is the lesson that I've learned from this? But I truly believe that I know in my experience that suffering is sometimes very, very, very important because it's in that surrender, it's in that pain, it's in that struggle where that release and that resistance just dissipates. And then you're allowing, this clarity, you're allowing everything to shift in that moment. And I remember, I mean, I'm sure you guys do too. I remember I had to leave my marriage and it was like, it's time. The contract's over. It's time. It's time. It's time. You have to do this now. It's time. It was like 3 years of this shit, trying to struggle through it, make it work, go to count, like all the things, trying to talk the ways, make him see what I was, should we stay for the kids? Should we do? Da, da, da. Him positioning us and what he thinks and me knowing it's wrong and, all those things and just sitting in the corner of my office in a ball and crying and suffering and in that struggle because that's where I release and say, yes, I know it's done. It's done because you get to that point. And that's where everything changed. And I'm doing it now again, but I'm doing it more with more wisdom and understanding and allowing this whole thing to be held, knowing that I have been taken here and I've been scooped up and taken here and scooped up and taken here. And I have allowed and I've allowed and I've allowed. And I know that they are going to guide me through this transition with my businesses. I know. So the moment that I start going, well, how am I going to do this? And the evaluation is going to come in. What's the negotiation? And like all this shit, I have to stop. Just stop. It's going to be taken care of. No matter what it is, you're going to sit and surrender and you're going to allow it to be held and taken care of. It's hard.
It's hard.
Like that's where the struggle, the suffering, it's hard, but it's necessary. Amanda's laughing, but it's true. It's like, damn.
Go
Oh,
for it,
Yeah.
Amanda.
no,
Mm-mm.
no, no, I
I'm
was
going
just
to
saying,
ask.
yeah,
Sorry.
please go on, Rachel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm laughing because I get it.
You get it. I
I hear what
know.
you're saying. Yeah, 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 yeah. Go on, Rachel.
Look, so it's so amazing how Pamela is reflecting everything back at us, isn't it, ladies? For a start,
Hmm.
like you're a perfect guest at this perfect moment, and may it be so, Pamela. But you know what I'm interested in is that I do understand that when you're starting to go through releases again and you understand what's going on
Yeah.
with some consciousness, how do you balance that? Sometimes I get suspicious that I'm kind of handling things too well, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Like I'm being a little bit
Mhm.
too conscious about the whole lot, and that I've just got really clever at trying to avoid the emotional experience once again, but this time I'm doing it through a sort of spiritual structure. Do you understand what I'm saying? And have you had that
Yeah.
experience? And how do you cut through your own spiritual bullshit?
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. Um, it's hard. So I get scolded by saying it's hard, but it's just like you guys said, we don't say I'm sorry. It's we get to do it. I totally understand that. I get to do it. I asked to do this. This is why I came here, to have this experience, to learn, to elevate, to do this work that I made a contract in another space and time to come back here and do this shit. And it's a continual. So I don't know if you guys know me. I run a marketing, branding, and communications firm. I have 4 employees and a business partner. I have corporate clients. I have a whole job. I'm the CEO. I'm the business development. I manage the business. All the things. That takes up all my time. I also have another company that I launched a year and a half ago that I am the CEO of, that I have another team that I manage. Plus, I'm putting myself out there and I'm doing premonitions, living podcasts and TV shows and healing and doing soul coaching. I have 2 like spinning entities that are thriving and need my attention. And I feel like I am like, like this constantly doing this juggling act that everybody feels that way.
Yeah.
But and so my mind, me being the creative and the musician, I try and I really excel in that magic space, as we all do. But as a creative, I really do. And when I see that I'm up here and it's vibrating high, everything just comes to me with ease. And when I get down in the weeds and I'm looking at the numbers and I'm looking at the projections and the budgets and the details and the meetings and all that shit, I'm down in this. My brain is just like, "Argh." So I'm constantly trying to fight that. And one business runs with all of that, but the other business runs in a completely different way, but it still needs all of that. So I'm like constantly, it's like a yin yang, constantly trying
Mm.
to balance that. And you know, I have to, I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I have to get to that space of complete surrender. It is so freaking hard when you're
Yeah.
down to your last 10 grand of running something, and you're like, I have to just sit here and freaking sit here and make decisions that are completely in a spiritual space, knowing that my other part of my mind is like, this isn't good. Da, 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 ba, 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 ba. You need to let go of these people. You need to do this. You need to do that. And then my other side is going, this has all been taken care of. This is all good. You need to go paint. You need to go walk. You need to go talk to the trees. You need to go do your instruments. You need to go whatever. And then in a day, everything goes, whew,
Yeah.
it all changes. And then next thing you know, you have a year of operating funds. It's crazy, but it's amazing. And then so you're like, how do I do this? Right. But then you go back up in that space and you're vibrating high and all the things come to you. And um, I live with my life partner is very analytical. He's an IT engineer. He's a successful entrepreneur. He's into like finance and structure, and like my whole existence is like a magic act. It really is. I drew him in, and I needed certain things in a person that I thought I needed, but spirit introduced him to me. I was on a trip, so was he, and we happened to meet in a way you would never even believe. And so he has all this whole bag of tricks that I need now that I never knew I needed. It's
Mm.
incredible. I mean, he has servers all over the country, and he has an IT company. He's now setting up my servers because the vision I've always had of the future is tremendous. I need expansion very quickly. And now I never said anything. And now it's like he's just taking the bull by the horns. He is creating that for me. And it's like That's the woo-woo that I have no control over. But yes, I do, because I have to say in that woo-woo space. So the spiritual, so take, being called out on my spiritual bullshit, I can't even, it's like, it's just such an interesting way, because he doesn't function in that, but then he sees the evidence of it, because most business is evidential. It's a numbers game.
Right.
It's analytical, it's all of those things. And but spirituality is the opposite of that.
Right. And you're
Pamela,
stepping
when
into
you're
I was going to say really
okay.
quickly, Lauren, you're stepping into a space that has no structure.
Mm-hmm.
There is no set. This is your way to success. This is your way to clients. This is your way to put yourself out there. There's nothing.
No, you have to function from here.
Absolutely.
From here,
Absolutely. And you have to create whatever that structure is for you to be able to do. That's what we have to do. And it's no easy task. No easy task. Lauren, tell us, girlfriend.
Oh, no, I was just interested, further to what Pamela was saying. When you're in those moments where you've got the two parts of you sort of pulling in different directions and, the spiritual and the mind and everything going on, is it as simple as being conscious of, I just need to sit in this until I have the clarity and just sit in the uncomfortability? Is that what you do? And do you channel for yourself as well? Do you receive guidance when in those times?
Yeah, very good question. Thank you. Yeah, I do channel for myself. The thing is, until recently, I had a very hard time saying this, but the guides tell me it's time, that I am an aspect of them that has come here to do this work. So I'm owning that, which is no easy feat. It's a big statement, but it's always been a big statement from the very beginning. Since they intuited me about spirit calling, the very first thing they said, there's going to be a glass ceiling that breaks. People are going to stop in their tracks. They're not going to know who and what they are, what the world is that they've believed in. They're going to need a safe place to land. There is going to be like a salt shaker falling over. That's how many people are going to be in this community that we're going to touch. Like, it's going to be tremendous. You need to build a portal for humanity. That word, it was like, I'm so small. How can I do it? Like, what? And so it's been this continual me owning it, stepping into it, owning it, stepping into it, owning it, stepping into it, owning it, stepping into it. Fear, love, fear, love, fear, love, fear, love, right? So when it gets too incredibly uncomfortable, which it's starting to get again, I had to hire a new person. I was told to hire this new person. I was told, because I channel about everything. And so they are I start out by saying they're an aspect of me, which means that we're constantly talking. So I don't have to like sit down and channel. Right. Yeah, like I'm in the shower and they're leading the session that's happening on Thursday night. They can't wait. They're so excited. Like, and they talk to me all night long. They intuit me. They give me visions and messages. And when I needed to understand if this person, Jordan, was supposed to join our team, which I felt such a profound pull towards him, and the other team members that I've had, they have all been universally sent to me. There's been a profound pull towards them. I feel the same way with this guy, the way that it happened. He's an integral part of the expansion of what's next. So I had to push through fear of engaging someone, taking on his monthly retainer and knowing it's there. So I'm aligning to what's already there. So I have to align continually to it. It's like I have to see I have to see the future that's already there and align to it. And I have to go for a walk, learn, like I have to get in the shower. And I mean, I'm going to get emotional. You have to. You got to create the space to let the fear just dissipate and just remember and connect again to what it is you're doing. Because we have a three-dimensional experience. We all have bills. We all have all of these responsibilities. Now I have a community of people that want to be fed, that want to be led, that want to be nurtured and supported, and a community in all my channels that want all the same things. And I want to do it with every part of who I am. It's what I'm here to do, and I love it. And when it gets to be too much, I just recede. I work all the time. Saturday, I try to take some time for myself. But when it gets too much, I just recede and I allow, and I just sit and say, it's okay. Like today, I had a really hard time focusing on work. So I just did things that felt good. And I said, it's okay. Like, it's okay, because that's where I need to be today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Kylie, I don't know if you're going to share this, but everybody we have interacted with the last month or so, including us, has hit that wall where it's like, we need to be doing X, Y, and Z. We want to be doing X, Y, and Z, but our bodies, there's this resistance that we can't break through. And it's about allowing it to, you know what?
Yes.
Who cares? Who cares if it doesn't get done? It will get done when it needs to get done. But sitting in that grace can be so difficult because you're like, well, I should be doing.
Yeah.
And every day I wake up and I do 0% of that thing. And it could really eat away at you. And so you have to remember, it's okay. Just let it go.
And then the floodgates will open and it will all come through in like a waterfall, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you least expect it.
Right.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, so Pamela, so
Yes.
multiple questions here. I
Okay,
will not
Kylie.
overwhelm you. Okay. So we have been taught the traditional way of manifesting. And I've always felt there was an underlying current of bullshit around the traditional way of manifesting.
Yes.
And I've always had this thing where if I'm in my highest self, if I'm doing everything I'm meant to be doing at that time, then if it's divine timing, it will be presented to me and it will be easy, the whole process. I wanted you to kind of touch on traditional versus just being, and trying to shift that paradigm around that a little bit. If that's how you feel too.
Yeah. So it's multifaceted, I feel, because that's been my experience. And the guides teach about this. You sort of have to do an exercise to witness it so that you understand how it works. Now, my legs just filled up with vibration. That's what happened with me. It was a playful game. And I understood, this is way back when, that I have to just vibrate at a frequency that puts a pulse out into the universe that is in alignment with what it is that I want. So I have to be, Abraham talks about, on that dial of whatever it is. And well, the dial is a frequency, and everyone has their own individual frequency, and the collective has its own frequency. So in the beginning, when I started hearing about that, I started understanding I was beating the drum of lack. My words, my thoughts, my action, everything was talking about what I didn't have. And when I learned that, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? So I'm a musician, right? And I understand you pluck on a string, you bang, hammer a piano key, and it makes a frequency and it pulses out. It's the same thing with our words. It's the same thing with how we feel. So I flipped that upside down in the early days. And I started talking about what I had. I started talking about, instead of my husband lost his job in the recession and we lost our house, we rented it and we're able to carry it. And we're all living in this little house. And I'm able to carry my business through a recession. So I flipped it. The frequency of that is higher. The conversations I was having, it was higher. It was different. So that changed my frequency. And I started getting new, like the game board, new players, new people. When you start to experience it, understand it, then you know how it works. But it is also a game of, as your consciousness shifts and your perspective expands, and you start understanding everything, and that you are a creator. I mean, a creator, and that the future already exists. Then you know it's your job to not put fear before what's there. You know it's your job. So you start to make the bigger, higher, better, higher frequency choices. And the struggles there sometimes. And if you don't make it, you're going to get it again to decide to do if you want it. So I always talk about when I lost everything and we had to sell my house. And it was in the recession way back when I was starting my journey. I laid on my bed. I closed my eyes and I visualized me being in the room at the real estate office, signing the papers of the closing. I visualized me putting the keys in someone else's hands. I visualized that and I felt the freedom of that off of my shoulders and what that experience felt like. And I let it pulse, 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 pulse out. And I sold my house in less than 24 hours, as is exactly what I like. All the things that I wanted, it happened like that. So that happened the first time. You can't just make a vision board and put it on the wall. You can't put post-its on the mirror. I mean, not that you shouldn't do that to remind you, but it's not a
Yeah.
word thing. It's a frequency,
Right.
energy,
Yeah,
feeling
correct.
thing. And it's an action thing, which is a conviction into the
Yeah.
universe. I did
Yeah.
it again when I wanted to. This is a funny story. When I was right before my husband and I were separated, I laid on my bed again. I was like, that house thing worked. Now, I came from a lot of lack. I came from like, we lost everything, retirement, business, like everything. So needless to say, we weren't going on vacations. We weren't doing anything. So I laid on my bed and I was like, I want to meet a man. This is how mature I was. I want to meet a man who's going to take me on adventures, who's going to take me on trips I'm going to have fun with, who's wealthy. Okay. So my friends were like, meet me in the city. We'll have a drink on the square. And I was like, cool. I put on my little blondie t-shirt and my black blazer and I looked so cute. And we're sitting at the bar and my friends went outside or to the restroom, I don't know. And there was this man standing there and he started talking to me. Well, he was coming through Philadelphia for one night only. He was in North Carolina, stopping in Philly to look at houses, but was from Rye, New York, who was a hedge fund guy, wealthy, out of New York City. And he wound up being, I wound up being in a relationship with him for like a year, and he took me all over the place, flew me, drivers, all kinds of things. But there was no love there. There was nothing but fun and experience. It was exactly what I asked for. So it was a little sloppy, but it was, but it was what I needed at the time. And so that's what I mean about experiential learning. You start to understand it's just like a sheet of
Yeah.
music. It's just like a language. It's just like jobs, skills. You got to learn it. And then you put it into practice.
Yeah.
But the higher conscious things and understanding your soul's path, it's hard work. It's hard work. You have to make big choices. Sometimes you have to leave a job. Sometimes you have to leave a relationship. Sometimes you have to leave a addiction. Sometimes you have to, they're like the hard you get to do kind of things.
Right.
Did I answer your question,
Yeah.
Kylie?
You did. You
You
did.
did.
Can I come in with another question, ladies? I
Yes,
promise.
do
Yeah.
it. Do it.
Go,
So with
Kylie.
all the
No
channeling
promise.
that you do you feel like you have a free will in your life? Do you feel like that is the sacrifice that you make to be able to channel as much as you do?
No, I have complete free will. I'm in the driver's seat.
So what do you do when they tell you an action that you challenge?
Huh. So they're very high frequency, and when they give me actions, they're in my highest and best. So there's not a lot of challenge there.
Okay.
I have learned, because I've paid the price of not listening, that I'm going to do what they say. For example, I leveraged my house. The only thing that I owned, I didn't even own it. I had a mortgage on it, but I had a lot of equity in it.
Sure.
I knew that I had to build a platform that was going to house that salt shaker of people, right? I couldn't just get on a Wix site and make a little thing and create some sort of rinky dink, place for people to gather. I knew I couldn't do that. I knew it had to scale. I knew just because of my experience in my marketing business, and I knew what that involved. And there was fear there for me. I knew I was supposed to get the equity out of my house to do it. That was hard as shit to do because I lost everything. So I had to learn abundance, which I'm still learning because that's what we're learning if we have had financial trauma. And they told me to do that. So I did it. And that was so hard for me because I was so afraid that the housing market was going to crash. They're telling me about the stock market. They're telling me about a war that's coming. They're telling me about all this shit that's going to happen. And then they're telling me to take the equity out of my house. I lived in a little bucolic town, and this little house made a lot of money for me. So when the time came, Kylie, and they gave me a dream and they showed me for sale by owner sign on my house, and they told me cash as is, they told me all the things, I knew I had to sell my house. I wasn't ready to sell my house. I was going to sell my house a year later when it was cushier and happier and a better time for me. And I have a real estate client in that area who's a top agent in that area. And she would have expected me to sell it with her. And it was hard for me to not use her. I probably could have gotten much more money from her, but would I have? In my mind, I would have. There probably could have been a whole bunch of shit that happened and I would have gotten screwed. So what did I have to do? I had to listen to what they told me and do what they told me to do. Do you know that I woke up that morning, I went across the street to get my dog from my neighbor's house, and she said to me, "What are you going to do when your youngest goes to college?" And I said, "I just decided that I'm going to sell my house." She goes, "My father loves your house. Let me talk to him. He's a builder. He loves your house." I sold it by that afternoon, cash as is. I walk away from the table with exactly what I said, and I could pick my closing date. And this was May, and I couldn't move till August. So I learned to listen. I learned to listen.
That's my problem. I don't listen.
So clearly,
You don't listen.
wow.
Okay.
So
We're all going to start listening.
there's a huge reflection with what you're saying, because on my way to get onto this lovely discussion, I had a real estate conversation with my partner, and it was very much, there's this new house, we're looking for a new space, and all this stuff, blah blah blah. And then I said, okay, because we both own homes now, but we want to go into a new family home. And I said, all right, so I go, you're going to sell your house, right? And we'll just use that as the down payment. Because in my mind, I went straight into, I'm not selling my nest egg. I'm not selling the thing that I know. I'm not ready to do that. And as I'm saying this to him, and I'm saying, look, I'm being completely honest. I'm sitting in fear going,
yeah,
I don't know if taking that step is so big for me. And as I'm saying it, I'm also realizing you have to step into that space. Whether you sell it or not, who cares? You have to take that leap of faith, and you got to check fear at the door.
You do.
Because one way or the other, whether it's a beautiful idea or a big flop, it's going to take you to the next thing. You're going to learn, you're going to grow, whatever. Now, again, I'm still okay, sell yours, and then we'll live in mine until that one is ready. And that whole thing.
Yeah. But you bring up a good point though. You bring up a good point. You don't have to surrender all of your desires just to be in alignment. You can go about it strategically, making sure that you feel good about everything.
Yeah.
High conversations, communication. Yeah. I mean, I ran my marketing firm that I had for 18 years for a year. Here's another story. I mean, I have one story after the other. It never ends. I had a boutique marketing firm for 18 years. Right after my husband left, I'm taking on the house, taking on expenses, all the shit by myself. And my biggest client wanted to leave her position to partner with me. Okay. My biggest client wanted to leave her job to partner with me. I'm like, how is that supposed to work? She's paying all my bills. This is my livelihood right here. Oh man, was that hard? Being in allowance and saying, okay, if she's going to leave her cushy salary, her 2 weeks vacation, her bonus at the end of the year to come and join with me, number one, I know we're going to be successful because she's leaving fear and jumping into the courage pool deep end. I also know that we're going to be held, but I also had to struggle because it's just what I do. I don't do it as much now, but I used to. I had to run that firm, my firm, for a year while I was launching another firm. I got myself sick, but I was too scared because I was worried about my livelihood and everything. And then finally I kept hearing, you got to merge it. You got to merge it. You got 1 foot here, 1 foot there, 1 foot here, 1 foot there. How will you be successful? How can it take off if you don't do it? So I finally did it. And I'm here again right now with this business and the other business. So it's going boom, 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 boom. So it was like a stepping stone. It's so interesting. And I don't see the whole picture yet, ladies. I'll be able to look back in a year and say, holy crap, look at what happened. Look what I did. Holy shit. I can't believe I did that.
Amazing.
Or even,
Pamela,
oh,
sorry.
Go ahead.
So I'm interested to know, because, you channel. So now since you have started doing that, have you since realized that, maybe when you were younger, you were getting messages in your dreams or you were receiving information? I know you said that you're in the shower and you're talking to them. So do you realize now that it was almost always present, but really you are actually very conscious of it now and, it's a huge part of your life?
You're the first person to ever ask me that. And it's such a good question. And I think it makes
Thank you.
sense. Yeah, no, it's so cool. When I was little, I used to have dreams that there was this wind that was coming. And I would be like, oh my gosh, the wind is coming. It's coming. Get ready. They're here. I can't wait. And I would go and stand out at the space where the driveway met the street. And I would wait for them to come and pick me up. And this energy would come and pick me up, and leaves would swirl around me, and I would go up with them. And I enjoyed being with them. And I don't remember anything else except flying around and looking at the ground beneath me. Wow. I had this incredible relationship with Jesus. He was, I can't explain it. He was always with me. So I had an abusive father who was an alcoholic. I was fearful of him. And, you couldn't make noise, couldn't have sleepovers, you couldn't empty the dishwasher unless it was quiet. It was, it was hard. And I remember I went to bed and I needed to be up really early for a school activity, and I forgot to ask for the alarm to be set. And I woke up and I went, oh my God, I was so scared. I couldn't go and bother my parents. My father would be disrupted and that would have been a problem. So I just prayed, Jesus, please, please, please wake me up at 5 a.m. Wake me up at 5 a.m. Like I would just surrender, And at 5 frickin' a.m., he woke me up. He was just he was always there. Like I always felt his presence. And I also escaped to my piano. I was always in front of my piano. And I was an artist. That's why I am an artist and creative. I sing, I play piano and guitar, and I paint and draw. So I didn't understand it then. I just actually had the realization recently that I was going to spirit. I was in spirit. I was in that space of creativity, which felt so good. And that's how I escaped. I used to say I would escape to my piano because that's what I did, but I was actually tapping in. So other than that, no. I think the very first time I ever really used my higher guidance was when I had to choose what kind of art I was going to do for a career path. And I remember sitting there and saying, I don't think that I can do illustration. I think that I am better at graphic design. And I felt this really pull. I remember seeing the two things and really leaning heavily towards that. And I didn't know it then, but I was really good with composition and hierarchy and organization. I'm a really good designer. So that got me to that. And then again, it was, shall we try to sell this house or shall we rent it? And I just kept feeling renting it. And other than that, I had nothing, nothing. Isn't that interesting?
Well, your story is very similar to Rachel's, who's like, I'm not into that 3 or that 5D spiritual space, but every single decision, the way life plays out, you can look back now in hindsight and go, oh no, you were divinely led. Spirit led you to do each thing. Not only that, you both have taken really huge leaps of faith. Your story, Pamela, is all I'm hearing is faith and trust.
Yeah.
Faith and trust. And that is the answer to get you to wherever it is you want to go.
Yeah.
You have that faith and you have that trust. There is nothing that could block you or stop you.
Yeah.
And so it's just so wild. I mean, you're just reflecting so much to me, and I'm sure to us, everybody.
Yeah.
Because it really is as simple as that.
It's simple and as hard as that. Like I got invited to speak.
Not easy.
I got invited to speak at San Diego Transcendence Retreat in September. I've never done anything like that before. But can you guess what I said? I said, yes.
Yes.
I got to speak in front of a room full of people and channel and lead. I don't freaking know how to do that, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. Yeah. And I just found out Daryl Anka's going to be there and Tucker's going to be there.
Nice.
Adam Bode. I don't even know everybody's name. That's how I don't know everybody in my industry or my space, whatever it's called. But I'm going to figure it out. Like I'm going to figure it out.
Right.
Well, that's it. It's the trust and the faith, but also be willing to feel the uncomfortable
Yeah.
feelings
Yeah.
because, you know, you need to be able to be okay with that because
Yeah.
that path is almost full of it.
Right.
It turns out magically, but
Right.
you know, you really do have to be okay with feeling it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
stepping into that
So can I
fear.
ask you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was
Yeah, I
just gonna
said
say
sorry.
stepping, yeah, don't say sorry.
Don't say sorry.
Stepping into that fear is such a thrilling, scary, but very thrilling experience and necessary. You've never done this talking in front of all these people, especially when the other people there are very well known
I know.
channelers.
Yeah.
And you have to go in now, stepping into that same space, and you're like, I don't know how the fuck I'm going to do this,
I don't know,
but
but
I
I know I'm
know I'm going
supposed
to do
to.
it.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's almost like making that fear your friend and like, let's do this together.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I've been told so many times that I am going to be on a grand platform and I'm going to be giving a renewal of perspectives of the earth's plane. Like this is just the beginning of what I'm going to be doing. And I was in a David Bowie tribute band for 10 years, singing in front of 1,000 people. You know, I started off as a kid playing classical piano and shaking and almost peeing my pants. I was so scared until like as an adult, I started singing at 37, playing guitar at 40. Then I was in a band. Then I was in a glam rock Bowie tribute band. But I always knew there was a reason I had to push myself out on that stage. And I wasn't even doing any of this shit. I didn't know, but I knew it was something bigger. So it's all that thread that's tying it all together.
Yeah.
So can I ask you then? So when you were speaking, I go back a bit. When you were speaking earlier, and you said that that the frequency that you channel, or the energetic beings that you channel, you were told that you are an aspect of them. Is that I heard correct? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you spoke about as a child, you used to have that dream of being swept up by that energetic, by that wind, that energy, that frequency, that it's almost like it came to collect you.
Yeah.
Could it be that they were this aspect? They were this energy now, and it's almost as like in your dream space, you are kind of visiting in a way home or where you come from, and it's like a constant. It's like it stays with you. It's that reminder. That's that thing that in your body. So when the time comes and you begin to channel when they arrive, yes, it's a big shock and it's a big whatever, but there's also a familiarity about it that this is home. This is me. This is an aspect of me that I've always known, felt it, but didn't know that this was how it was going to be expressed. Is that
I think you're right.
Possible?
I think you're right. I think so. I think so, because it always felt like I've only actually thought about this recently too, Amanda, because I did I have a vision of the leaves floating around my legs? Something happened recently. I have tons of dreams and visions, and a lot right now. But it reminded me of that when I was little. And it was a coming home, like you're saying. It was a familiar feeling. But I never, listen, I was a teenager. I was a young adult. I did stupid things. I put myself in dangerous situations. I've done all kinds of shit like everybody else. But I was always guided. You know, maybe they were there guiding me, I'm going to guess, right? So that I got home safely, or I didn't have this, or I didn't have that, or I was protected. I feel the same thing happening to my youngest daughter right now. I can kind of see it. But yeah, I believe it. And the way that they speak, they make me cry. I see a shaman every 6 months. I have forever. I love her. Her name is Carol Smith. She's in Cape May, New Jersey. And she's tremendous. And she knows what I do, but she doesn't really know what I do. She knows, but she doesn't really. I don't tell her. I let her talk to me. And the last session was just a couple months ago. And she said, your guides are here. Everything I was thinking in my head, everything I was talking to them about on the ride down, everything, they're here and they want you to know. And she's never said this before, nor has she ever talked about them. She's talked about my Palladian guides or other guides that I've had. She said, they want you to know that it's a we, not a you and them. It's a we, and that you are part of them. You chose to come here now to do this work. And this work is very unique, which I know. I know this work is very unique also. And not everyone can do this. There's a tremendous amount of energy that you have to hold, which I already know. and they want you to own who you are. You should hear the recording. I'm crying like a freaking baby because it's what they tell me in our sessions, and it's what I know deep inside of me, but I don't talk about it because I'm stepping into it, you know?
I think the important thing that you said there which was thing that we speak about all the time to all our listeners, about owning.
Yeah.
It's about owning. It's
Yeah.
really about owning it. It's not about ego or anything else, because sometimes people shame us into when we are stepping into that power or claiming or really remembering or owning who we are. And so it doesn't allow for us to really step into it fully and own it. And when you do, we always say, when you can own it, then you bring such a higher quality to it. There's no hiding.
There's no hiding. Like, I got invited after Next Level Soul. You guys know Alex Ferrari, Next Level Soul podcast.
Yeah.
I was on Next Level Soul, and this kid, Sean Kelly, I don't know if you know Sean Kelly, Digital Social Hour podcast.
Yep.
He reached out to me on Instagram and said, "Hey, I'd love to get you on the show." And I'm like, I mean, I don't know who he is. I didn't know who he was. I was like, let me check you out and I'll see. So I looked him up and I wrote back to him. I thought to myself, okay, here we go. He's not a spiritualist. It's not a spiritual podcast. His audience are all of the people who are not woken up, some that are, but mostly not. A large male audience, which is something that's new, that's this year, which is interesting. But it fits the vision of me being for the people who are just waking up. For there's something also that I've known that people are going to see me somewhere and remember that they saw me, and it's all part of this thread. That's the story of all of this work. And so when I get invited by people like Sean Kelly, and I was like, shit, man.
Right.
I know this is going to be like, I'm going to get crucified. And I know this is going to be really hard. I had no idea how hard that was going to be for me. Guess what? I came out of a weekend of fucking ego shedding, a new person. It was hard.
Well, and
So hard.
for complete context, he's got like over 1 million followers
just on Instagram.
Right.
He's top 3 podcasts in the world.
Right. I mean, and he's this young kid who's just normal, like, normal everyday kid, just having conversations. And so you're, for the first time then on a large scale, stepping into and sharing your spiritual gift to people who
don't even know what it is. They think I'm possessed by a demon. It's still a viral thread on Instagram. I mean, it's still going. 30,000 people liked it. The comments are incredible. And at first it was just like, oh my God, like I can't do this. My boyfriend, my beloved, has said, baby, you have to embrace your haters. You have to understand that. And he's not where I am spiritually, but vibrationally he is. And I talked to this other spiritual person who's very well known. And they said, you got to understand that this is the work, and that your light is triggering them, and the people who are supposed to see you will see you, and the people who are not. And the council talked to me about it too. But I had to go through that. Yeah. Me had to go through all that. And it was an ego shedding. It was really hard. And I'm sure another few are coming also, I mean, more than a few, maybe, I don't know. But it was a large learning curve. And I came out of it like, I don't give a shit about anything anymore.
Until the next big wave comes in and you're like, oh shit.
Until it's like my mom and my mom's best friend. And like my mom already thinks I'm not. She doesn't ask. She just doesn't ask.
Isn't that wild to be part of a family that this space is everything to you, and they're just so disconnected that they can't even ask, not even just for the simple fact of, I want her to feel like we support her.
Right,
because I experienced the same thing. Right. It's nothing. You have full-blown conversations about everything under the sun except who you are, what you do, what you're building, where you're going.
Yeah.
It's the wildest experience.
Yeah. None of it.
But it's real.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Crazy.
They don't understand.
No.
They just can't. They can't understand the frequency of it. They just can't. And we have to meet everyone where they are on their path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. Okay, listen. We can talk about this forever, but I have an itch, and the itch is I would love, if you feel ready or drawn to actually introduce us into the Great Council of Light, because we really
Okay.
haven't you haven't really shared specifically about that collective energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, we know it's another aspect of you, but how did you kind of quickly, longly, whatever, get
Yeah.
into channeling specifically them? And then let's just see what comes out.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. So after the ayahuasca journey, I came back and 2020 happened. And I was sitting in front of, my bank of windows in my living room, feeling this pull to continue the work that I was doing at Rhythmia. And I just sat with my heart open with intention every morning. We had this gift of time, right? Remember? And I just said, I want to continue working with you. I want to continue doing the work. And I was still vibing in a frequency from being there. And Aya was still with me. She was with me before I went and ingested her medicine and after. And so what happened was I started getting lots of visions at night, dreams, started hearing things. I started having like profound dreams, sketching them, writing everything down. I had journals going. And then when I started working with them, I started experiencing frequencies, energies. I'd feel things. And the very first group that came in were a high, divine, feminine group of women, feminine energies, not women, but they were this buoyant, like effervescent, like I can't explain it, like bubbly, kind of moving slowly. And when they would come upon me, and they still visit, I would just feel love, and I would smile, and then they would talk in this lovely little voice, and I have it all recorded in journal. But every time they came in, I knew that I was about to do a past life experience, releasing the trauma. I'd have to actually go through the death, experience the damn thing. And then I'd have to release the emotions of it. And then my frequency would raise. So I did that for months. Like I would even have visions of what it was that I went through that morning at night and stuff like that. It was fascinating. But I mean, I like was burned. I was water tortured. I was strangled. My limbs were pulled. Like I experienced it. If you hear some of the screams coming from me, you know, so I was like a fly on the wall watching myself go through this. And then I'd have to cry and release all of that sorrow and shame and all the feelings. Then my vibration was rising, 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 rising. So I did that for a while. And then I was experiencing ETs. They were coming to my bed at night. They were bothering me. I was getting more dreams, messages. And then one day, this light language just started coming down. I just listened to it the other day. I found it. I hear myself going, and it came in. It was like exactly like that. And it was them. It was the council. They're so high frequency. I got to a point where we could try. And so I worked with them to do that for a very long time because there's a physicality to it. They're so powerful, and I have very deep depth with my breathing, with my vocal cords because of the singing and everything, that I really am able to harness their energy and really work with them. But we did that together for many, many months until I got to a point. Like I was listening to a recording the other day while I was driving, and I would channel that little group of feminine beings so easily. Then the council would come in and they're like, wait, we are. Like we went like trying to say we are here, here, here. Like we did it for like the longest time. And I sent it to my girlfriend. I was like, listen to this. It's what they say now when they come in, but they were trying to do it. And it was like, go us, we did that together. We worked on that. So they came in. Yeah, go ahead.
So sorry, Pamela, can I just jump in there? So are they trying to create balance in the frequency,
like
so
a
that
tuning,
so that they can use
tuning.
They can use your vocal cords and use your body, use the body, some of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they were like they're super high, and I was only
correct.
So it was like boom, it was trying to connect.
Bridge the frequency.
And then not only is there me harnessing that frequency in this three-dimensional body of mine,
Correct.
there's the vocals too.
There's the vocal.
Yeah. So there's this, I still do that. When I'm able to be in this 100% of the time, I'm going to have a practice every morning and be like more able to work with my physicality. I just was traveling, so I had a bad pillow. Neck is
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something just funny about that. Years ago, when in my teens, I used to be in a youth group, and we used to learn all different kinds of things. We belonged to a church, but we were like a magical sort of group, and we used to do all things like that, mediumship, channeling. We were working on a lot of channeling. And when I used to see my cousin channel and the struggle that he would have with it coming into his voice, like he was almost choking to death, I just thought, I can't be doing that. That doesn't look
not
good.
For me.
That doesn't look pretty. Doesn't look good. I thought, I'm not doing that. I thought I'm going to stick to my cards.
Right. It's so funny. It's true. I see myself and I'm like, oh my God, look at my neck. I'm like, what am I doing? I look so uncomfortable.
I
understand. Yeah. That's so funny.
Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, it's true. But we worked together for, over a year, getting acclimated to one another.
Yeah.
And then there was once the words could come in, being able to get the words to come out in a fluent way. And so for a very long time, I was not sharing it with anyone. So I launched my community in January of 2024, and I was talking inside of my community in my cushy little place where everybody wanted to see that sort of thing, and I was doing a lot of the automatic writing. So I close my eyes and my consciousness goes over here and it just goes, pff, and I channel, I type like a demon, and it's like, it's beautiful. But they want me to do it this way. So I started practicing. I started sharing it in the community. And then in October of 2024, they told me I need to start sharing my premonitions and my visions and all these messages, and I need to start. So I started doing that. I shared the premonitions and the visions in October. Someone saw it, shared it with someone, then they shared it with Alex, and then he got me there, and then I was on Sean Kelly, and I was on Wisdom from the North. And so I'm getting like ba-boom, ba-boom, pinballed around because the council wants me. Now I have a different visibility, and I know that I'm supposed to channel all the time. But it's not, I'm still learning and working with it. I'm still a newbie, if you want to put a label on it, Daryl Anka, do you know him?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Bashar. So, he's a strong energy, right? Mm-hmm. When I was with Alex Ferrari, he said it's very similar to Daryl's. It's actually stronger, which that's what I feel. And for him to say that was kind of cool because he feels it and he knows him very well and he experiences him in the flesh. When I went to Next Level Soul, she's like my sidekick, Dina. If you know Esther and Jerry Hicks, she's my Jerry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That's a whole other story of divine connection. But she went with me to Austin to do Next Level Soul. So she was in the green room and I was getting ready to channel, and she's very connected to the council. They come to her, she channels, and we do work together. She said she was in the room and suddenly she said something's about to happen, and she felt this energy come up through her feet. At that moment, the system got interrupted from the council's energy, and it tripped like the monitors and stuff. So we had to stop, and Alex had to fix things and like recalibrate it or something. The same thing happened at Sean Kelly's because I went to Las Vegas to do that. And he had, I think, 4 people before me and 7 or 9 people after me. And he put out a post on Instagram and said, listen, guys, the energy of the council like tripped up the monitor. Like it's a super really strong energy. So
well, even today, I don't know who else will pick it up, but there's been so much like not glitching, but like cutting in and out. Like there's things in the background.
There has been.
It's very obvious if you're remotely paying attention that there's so much energy around, and it's strong. It's so strong. And how cool.
And when we do our Awakening Accelerator Mastermind group in the community, I have 2 sessions going. It's 10 people and then me and Dina. And when we do that, when the council comes in to talk and do Q&A and stuff, because it's really, really profound, amazing work, people start like unzipping and taking off their jackets. Like people get hot flashes and get hot, like red in the face, and they have experiences. It's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. When you were doing that, the light language when you were doing just a moment ago, when you're doing like when you first heard it, it came down like those whispers. I could literally feel the energy in that.
Wow.
I was like thinking, wow, that is wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. You'll see.
All right.
My face gets red. Let me see. It's so funny. Yeah. No, I'm good.
No, you look beautiful.
It's so funny. Okay, so I'll call them in and I'll let them share a message with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Usually most times it's like a continuation of our conversation. So we'll just let them say what they want to say and you'll get to experience them. Okay, you ready?
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Don't be surprised if I like sometimes bang my microphone because it's quite a lot.
I feel like a kid at Christmas morning. Like, give me my gift.
Too, though. They get so excited. They get so excited.
I love that.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we are here. We are here. We are very happy indeed to be here. Yes, as we were saying before. Yes, there is a transference of energy that happens between the vessel and the spiritual beings that are channeling through them to you. As you can see, the physicality is shifting in her body, the movements that are happening, the strain within the jaw, the neck. You see it here now. That's the first time they've ever done that. And people are always amazed how I can come in and out, but I can. Yes, we are here. We are here indeed. Yes, we are happy to be here. Yes, indeed. With the highest intention, we are here with a message for you, yes, and your community. We would like to share now that there will be shifts on your planet very soon. We implore you to work on your individual frequency and shifting the vibration of your individual beings. Yes, there are many on your planet that are consumed with fear, working daily, consumed with stress, monotonous activities, fighting, challenging each other's positions on your planet. We are telling you now it is not important to position yourself in the way of fighting. We are telling you now it is not your best intention to position yourself with an elevated frequency of hate and fear. We ask that you instead work on your individual frequency, elevating your frequency, rising continually, working to shift it. For when the shifts happen on your planet, you will be better prepared, able to weather the shifts more easily. You see, you have a calibration within you, the frequency that emanates from you. Even during difficult times on your planet, you are able to position yourself in a higher, better experience because of your frequency. They want to say, do you understand? Yes, they understand. Yes. It's important now for you to pave a way with more ease and grace in this way. We tell you now, not for fear, but to create an example for others that they may see your position and shift their ways of being as well. For the shifts are coming now very quickly. This is Pamela's purpose on the planet. This is the purpose for which she has paved the way forward to do now, to assist humankind. Yes, indeed, she speaks of all of the experiences of her life, all of the changes that she has created for herself through her decisions, creating an easier path forward with which she still struggles with individual experiences and choices and changes for her path. But yes, she has created more ease in her experience, or are able to create this for themselves. That's pretty strong.
Wow.
Tell you, Pamela, it was very easy. Like I wasn't looking at you, but it was very easy to hear you. I mean, for all the strain that it is, the message is really incredibly clear. And I don't know, I'm sure people have said this to you, but I cannot believe the Winston Churchill vibes.
I have no idea.
Like of the
Yeah.
intonation. It was
Is that
like,
what you said, Winston Churchill?
yeah, it really did feel like a sort of profound orator. Like,
Yeah.
as I said, please don't take offense of me not connecting with you visually, but
No,
that
I
would
don't.
have been distracting for me. But without you visually, man, as I said, yeah, thank you very much for that
you're
gift.
welcome.
That was a beautiful experience.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
They love to talk. They love to talk. And, you know, they're in their conversation, obviously. It's like when I'm on podcasts and people want to ask questions and stuff, but they want to talk. They want to be a part of it. And because they're in the conversation already. Right?
Well, you know, two important things were shared, and we've been talking about this recently. And I want to point out before I say them that when you are in alignment, you're not always going to be in alignment 24/7, but essentially when you're in alignment, when information comes in, it's no longer a surprise or a shock. It's very much validation and like, yes, like I'm picking up what you're putting down. And so two of the things that they shared, which was so beautiful, was it's about us taking care of and raising our own personal frequency. It's not about the external world, it's all internal. And when you shift internally, you shift everything and everyone else in your reality as well. And the second thing was about, you know, I can't remember exactly the way it was said. I'm going to have to re-listen to this many times, but it was about raising our own vibration and our own frequency within what's happening in the world.
Yes.
Right. And so something that's been thrown out so many times, we recently personally talked about this, you know, this whole World War III narrative. And we're very much like, no, not in our reality. And I believe with every cell in my body, every fiber of my being, that if I truly believe that has no space in my reality, I can create the reality and the future that exists without us having to go into that space. And so that is such a huge message of what was shared, of what I picked up from what I mean, that's
right. That's their whole purpose.
Yeah.
And I just want to add, I think it's really important because we already live in duality. We already live in a world where there's war, famine, disaster. I don't know if everyone understands who controls our world, the beings that control our world and the systems that are already existing that we are placed in when we're born. And the way that our reality has been created to be, it's a low vibratory reality. So it already is there. So we all individually have our own path and we came here to do a specific task, to learn specific things, etc. But the higher our frequency is, the more and higher experience we'll bring in. So there could be a World War III, which could be very real, but your reality will be much like what happened in World War I and World War II. It'll be whatever it is that you're drawing in, because that's what they mean by that. A lot of spiritualists they want to say that the galactics are going to stop a bomb or do all these things. It's not what I know. It's not what I understand. And I'm not saying anyone's wrong or right, but what I've been told is there's high probabilities, and there's a very high probability right now for events to happen this month. So we'll see if they happen. And I already shared that message, and they've been giving me dreams that confirm the messages they've been giving me. I mean, I just had another one the other night, AJ Harrison in the middle of the night. What the hell is that? I wrote it down. I look up on Google. The first thing I see is this person who does a lot of work with American bald eagles. I've been dreaming about bald eagles and America for the last month. And that goes in alignment with the visions and the messages that I've received about America. So they are so loving. They want to help us have a better experience. They have an invested interest in humankind because they are creator beings and they want to make our existence better. They want to help us. And people who say, well, how can they help us? By teaching us, because we have been dumbed down to not be able to use our compasses or higher guidance, not know that we are large. Instead, we're small. You know, we are able to create our realities. And I think that's what they said. I don't hear everything. But it's so important. They were talking to me in the shower. We're leading a mastermind on Thursday night, and they were saying, to understand it, choose the lower aspects of yourself, put them over here on the left side of your being. Choose the higher aspects of yourself. Put them over here on the right side of your being. Now, when you are afraid, pull on the higher aspects. Pull on the higher aspects. Is that cool? That's not something I would have ever said or thought about. But it is. It's you're dipping into that pool. You're dipping into that pool. You have a community you're building. You have people that follow you, that want to learn, that want to share, that want to grow and be supported. That's what we're all supposed to be doing now, to help people dip into that higher frequency.
And by doing that, do we not have the ability, in the sense of remembering who we are, the fact that we are creators, that we are creating our reality, that we don't have to buy into the narrative or buy into the reality that the controllers, in a sense, are wanting us to, which could, in a sense, create, say,
The
like World
breakdown.
War III or stuff like that. We can, if we're all doing the work on ourselves and we're getting that through to as many people as possible to raise your frequency, we can shift that. And I think that's what Jan is saying, that we don't have to exist in that timeline, or we don't have to create that reality. We can.
Yeah. Is it about reaching a critical mass, though?
We can do different. Yeah, we can. Yeah, it is probably about reaching a critical mass, but we can do different. And when that happens, it's almost as like you can't unsee it. You know, when you see something, you can't unsee it. It's like that. There's no going back. We then begin to go further. We then begin to create that space and that energy, that frequency for others to be able to have the potential, if they wanted to, or if they could, to step into it. You know, some of us, in a sense, have to take the hit. Some of us have to go into some of us are the creators. We all have different jobs. I speak about this all the time. So it's really important to focus on the job that you have, that you're doing to the best of your ability. So when the time comes and we call on you for that piece and for that piece and for that piece, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For everybody to be able to step into it, because not all of us on this planet have the ability, or let's say had as many lifetimes, or has come from the other sort of planets with the kind of frequency or the energy that we have, that can come in and do what we need to do in order to make the changes, in order to facilitate the shift.
Yeah.
In a great way.
Yeah.
So
very well said. And we are returning to, they talk about this beautiful world that once was, that we're returning to, where everyone is collaborating and using love as their gauge and their dial for everything that they do, and where we use all of our senses. No, we're not even talking to each other. We're communicating telepathically. We're having instantaneous healing. I mean, it's like, you know, a beautiful world that I mean, it sounds marvelous and amazing, but this old system that's created is breaking down now. So just like learning the experiential abundance and manifestation, we have to go through it to get there. And we all came, like one of the channel messages said, that, you know, we all come back in many, 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 many lives. But we, and I would include you ladies, came here for the greatest show on earth, to catapult our spiritual senses and understanding. And that's what we're doing. So that's what we wanted. You know, we could have not come, or we could have come. We wanted to come. We couldn't wait to come. It was basically what the message was.
Yeah. See, I get a rise of emotion in me when you say that and when you speak about that, and I can literally feel that in my body. I know for me, that's why I came. So I'm eager to get this done. I came, I think for many of us, we have many times been in many different planets or systems whereby we have facilitated or been part of the facilitating of this shift, this jump, this rise in frequency. And so it's almost as if, as you just spoke about this world, you know what's possible.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, and I think sometimes that the burden is that we are the ones that witness the gap. We know what's possible. We know where we are, but we also know about the gap, the jump that needs to be made. And so that's where the hard work is, in a sense. That's where the real hard work is, to get for the whole, like they say, awakening process, and to sustain it It's you know what I mean? Everybody talks about, I had this massive awakening, I'm awakening, but it's about it's the abilities to sustain it. And as you were speaking earlier on before, where you spoke about those past lives that you had to clear,
Yeah.
it really brought something home to me, then the realizing of that the things that I kind of talk about, you have to clear these sort of past lives because they have made such a dent on sometimes on your soul. Sometimes it could cause
On your
such
soul.
fracturing. Yeah, it can cause those splits. It can cause the fracturing that in order to remember, to bring it all back together, we have to clear, we have to heal those lifetimes. And I get it. So that's the work that needs to be done for a lot of us before we can even move forward. So that's sometimes the purpose of why we're clearing past lives, in order to raise the frequency, like you said. It's in order to raise your frequency, that every time you cleared one, and like you said, if you could hear the wails or the things that came from these lifetimes, I've witnessed people who have been in sort of like Lightbody sessions whereby they've released a past life, and the wail that I've heard come from them in that moment, and that something has shifted, even in the pain of being in that lifetime, something has shifted. So it creates the space for other stuff to come in.
It's incredible.
Because sometimes those memories, those past life can hold such density that it's like scar tissue.
It is.
And so in order to, it's like scar tissue.
Yeah.
So anyone.
Those Russian dolls and they crack, or someone has said that, and I don't think it makes sense. But it's like you're putting your soul body back together. You're healing all those traumas.
Yeah. So anyone listening, I know you might be tired, but it's important work. You just keep going.
Yeah, that was a good.
We're all doing it too.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
I love this. Beautiful. Listen, again, we have such beautiful people on this podcast, and we're all chatterboxes, and we can talk for forever. There's so much to dive into. And so, Pamela, will you let our listeners know where they can find you, how they can work with you, and everything you got going on?
Yeah. Can I tell you about two really important things?
Yes.
Yes.
Super important. Okay, ladies. There is, I never know I was going to do this. I didn't ask, but it just comes out. I'm in the middle of channeling for someone, and the first thing was a pineal gland activation meditation. Who knew, right? So I look at it when it's done, and I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. So when I'm recording it, and my voice is recording it, the council comes in, and so it's like they are leading the meditation. It's incredible. People are having profound experiences. And I have a custom curated sound healing that is part of the membership that my community gets every month. So I had this woman, Nicole, who create a frequency, a sound healing in the frequency of a pineal gland. People are feeling it in their head. They are breaking out in full body sweats. They are now having dreams and visions. It's incredible. That happened, and it just went crazy. And then I'm washing the dishes, or I'm getting out of the car, and I hear what the next one is. I have a sheet of them right here that I have to write down as they come. There's 4 more. So 2-3 weeks ago, all weekend long, womb activation, womb activation, womb activation, and womb activation. And I'm like, I hear you. I hear you. I'm going to do it. Womb, 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 womb. So a Monday morning meeting cleared somehow. They canceled, and I was like, okay, I'll channel it. So I channeled that bad boy. It's incredible. I hired Nicole to create a womb frequency. I married them. It's so amazing. It is for all women. It is clearing trauma. I have to find something to explain what it is. It's clearing ancestral trauma, past life trauma. It's clearing this life trauma. It's connecting you with your creativity, with your sensuality, with your sexuality. It's clearing the line for a new lineage. It's incredible. It talks about, it's just amazing.
Well, we're sold, Pamela. We're sold.
Where can we access?
Yeah.
Where do we get it?
It just launched this week. But the most incredible thing about it, and this is how the frickin' council works. I channeled it on a Monday. I didn't record it yet or anything. Monday evening, I have a meeting with a potential soul path coaching client. What do you want to work on? I want to work on the energy of the womb. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Tuesday morning, I talked to this young woman. I'm really trying to get pregnant. I would like to work on the energy of the womb. It's like Thursday morning, I lead a call in Perth, Australia with these women. Someone says, Pamela, can you tell me what you know about spirit babies? I said, what does that mean to you? She said, I want to work on the energy of the womb. I just literally started crying because, it's like they're 3 steps ahead of me all the time. Someone posted, it launched on Monday. Someone posted in the community that they did it. A woman my age had a hysterectomy. Okay. She said, I had the most incredible experience. I was raped as a child, and I had a healing. Like, this is what the purpose of them, and what they want to do is help you heal your soul body, help you raise your frequency to heal. I mean, they're giving us these tools. It's incredible. So I'm really, really passionate about that. And then we have a new mastermind that I launched. It's a group of 10 people plus me and the council, and we're helping people clear path, get clarity, understanding, whatever it is they need to learn to help them heal, to help them discover what it is. We're doing that. And that's all on my community and my platform. It's called spirit-calling.com. It's a 7-day free trial. You come in, you have a full immersive experience. There's events, there's community. It's like a spiritual Facebook. I'm very active in there. And then I'm going to be at the San Diego Transcendence Retreat. It's going to be amazing. September 27th and 28th. And if you go to San Diego transcendenceretreat.com, you can get a discount if you put in Spirit Calling. And then I have my Live the Call podcast. If you go to my YouTube channel, Spirit Calling Pamela, my Instagram, Spirit Calling Pamela. I think that's it.
And is there one website where all this information is on there?
Spirit-calling.com. Yeah.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean.
Okay. And sorry, can I just ask, and your meditations that you've just done, or the activations, are they available to the general public, or do you have to be part of the membership?
Yep. They're
or
right
is
on
that something that's separate?
They're separate. They're available to everyone.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay. So
Pamela.
we'll give you feedback once we're done with
I know. I'm telling you guys. Get the pineal gland. Start working with that pineal gland, man. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Pamela,
Thank
we
you very
appreciate you so much.
Oh God, thank you for having me.
Such a blessing to have you. Yeah.
It was wonderful to be here and meet all you guys. I'd love to come back again one day and talk about
We'd love to have
things.
you.
Love that. Please
That would
do.
be awesome.
Okay, cool. It's a date.
Love that.
Yeah. For everybody listening, all Pamela's information is available down low, whether you're listening, watching, everything. And also, if you're interested in joining our membership, the collective, come have some fun. It is such joy. It's such entertainment. It's so healing. It's such a beautiful community. If you're interested in a reading, a healing, a light body activation, a guided journey meditation, anything at all, come join us at yoursoulwisdomshow.com. We thank you for allowing us to create this beautiful space, and we hope you have a blessed day. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.